and or legal ramifications of me passing something that's going to pass it into my back pocket. And if it gets serious enough, then you step down from your position in your business. Take a leave of absence if you have to.
I guess for the procedure side of it is that if I were the mayor and I recognize some business people on council, I would raise the question, does anybody have any pecuniary interest in this, and ask the CAO to talk about what that definition is and review that with everybody in council before we proceeded, and try to make some kind of a ruling or a decision on where we go from there.
As a mayor who does not own a business, I feel that I could listen and get the gist of what everybody's saying to make an agreeable decision that will work for the community. If it does not sound like it will be a decision that will benefit the community, we will not be moving forward with it unless we have more information. At that point, we might need to bring in some experts to advise us from an outside point of view. We have several around our area which would be available to us. We could bring in those people to help us make that decision from an outside perspective. Thank you.
Any further questions? I think we'll probably take one or two more. Come around this way, though.
Hello, my name is Doug Donahue. I've lived here for 33 years. And I, first of all, congratulate Lisa Herbert-Terriol on the decision to run for mayor. Basically donate the next 4 years of your life in guiding the town. The basis of this question or comment is to help people decide who to vote for. So keep that in mind, Vic. I'm a little hesitant on asking this. It might be told to sit down. I've spoken to many co-workers, friends, and lots of them are saying, this year, I don't know who to vote for. And myself included. A number of people are saying, we need a business person to lead the town. And Terry has those credentials. And other people are saying, wasn't it Terry that declared business bankruptcy 3 or 4 years ago, and a number of other businesses in town got left high and dry with bills unpaid? And people, a lot of people just don't want to even attend these meetings. And Terry, I'm not trying to make a attack on you, because you are certainly somebody who I could vote for yet after what you tell me. Could you elaborate on your business bankruptcy if you care to? If you decide not to, that's your choice. But could you tell us how you could use your business background to best help run the town through its financial ups and downs and huge decision making, which is the essence of running a town?
Well, I guess that's directed at me. Nobody else gets to speak. I welcome it. And you have to realize, Doug, I don't know if you do realize what the Bankruptcy Act is about. And we were in business for 27 years in town. We donated $1.275 million to different community functions. We technically built a park next to our place. So Crater Enterprises, you're alluding to, was a big part of this community. A contract that Crater Enterprises had, not Terry Corey, but Crater Enterprises had, because it's a separate entity, was not fulfilled from the other end. And so at that time, we had to decide, I had to make a tough business decision, because this was my baby. This thing was going to go somewhere, and this was my baby. The decision was, I put $800,000 of my personal money in and paid as many local businesses as I could. The The second thing we did was we went and we got a bankruptcy protection firm to take over the management, and they realized through their attempted lawsuit of the company that owed us the money, they realized 65 cents on the dollar. That was the highest paid bankrupt company that year in Alberta. And there was 780 bankrupt companies that year. That was a record. So it was a bad downturn. But that was a business decision we made. Cost me $1 million personally, and it cost a few people here a little bit of money, but it cost some big guys a lot more money. So yeah, I welcome the question. I mean, that clears the air a little bit, and it's a tool to be used. And you can come out of bankruptcy smelling like a rose. But there was a company here that used to do a lot of work around town, Ivanhoe Contracting. They hit everything offshore. They hit everything everywhere. Not one creditor on a $30 million claim or whatever got a nickel. Not one nickel. So I think we did the right thing. We made the right decision at the time to realize as much money for the creditors as we could.
Okay, we'll have one more question, and we're going to call it a night.
So just a PS, I've been through the wars, so I know how to do it.
This question is for past, present, and maybe future mayor, councilors. How long has the wastewater and water management been an issue in our town? Do you feel this is an important issue? I'll direct this at Herb at the moment, as he's presently on council. And do you feel that this is an important issue to our community? Do you think it's time for us as a community to take our own initiative and maybe do some development, expand our tax base, bring in our own money, and stop relying on government grants? This particular item has been better than, I believe, 6 years relying on government grants. Are we waiting for our water to get to the point that's going to start making our residents sick? Can we do something about this or look into this before that happens? And how do you feel about that?
Well, Rod, that is a very, very important issue. Right now we have potable water, and it's treatable water. It has the extension from the environment that I've been told has been extended, and we will not get any more extensions on our present water treatment. It's very, very important. The provincial government installed this plant when this town was started some 40 years ago. And so it has been made known to our MLA that they need to come back and fix this, because they, like everything else, has offloaded this kind of stuff onto the community, and certainly it's ours to run. But how do we do it? We don't have the money right now. The previous councils didn't put money aside to do this. The price tag on upgrading our water system, we've been told, is about $10 million. So that being said, it's critically important. So we're hoping at the moment that the government takes it as importantly as you do and as I do and everybody else does.
And I think that's why we should take the initiative to start it ourselves and not wait for these grants.
Yeah, I know it's a federally mandated thing. It's another download by the feds to get the membrane system in for the water and the wastewater. And the only caution I would make, and I kind of agree with you, but Rod, that sometimes you want to take the bull by the horns and get going. As soon as you do that, they look at you and say, well, he doesn't need that MSI money. They don't need that. So it's a really fine line that you have to walk, in that you don't want them to perceive that you can get along without them. You want to cry broke all the time and make them come to the table, because when they mandate something, generally they come up with a program that will fund part of it, or, you know, it's 50-50, 60-40, whatever it happens to be. But generally, if they say you have to do this, then you get some matching funds somewhere. So you want to get those matching funds first, and then you can forge ahead. But don't let them know, or don't take the bull by the horns and do everything yourself.
That's great. words, it's putting our residents in danger with our fire suppression, with our water, our wastewater. We need to deal with it. We need to take that initiative as a council. I hope the new council, the new mayor, takes that initiative and starts with that, because we really need to start dealing with it before we have a major catastrophe.
With the water, we should have money put away in a capital spending account to manage the future of what's going to happen to our water system. Because we don't currently have those in place, we're going to have to start looking at cutting back other areas of our budget to accommodate these needs. In the future, as government grants go, they do work on cycles, so we're going to have to keep our eyes open and be proactive towards things like that. However, for the interim, we need to start looking at bringing in more industry, business, and real estate to help us build a tax base that we can absorb from rather than taking it from the tax base that we already have.
The only thing that I would add to this is that the MD of Greenview has come back to this town and Valley View, Fox Creek, and is attempting to set up a 10-year agreement which includes an investment corporation, a utility corporation, and of course a whole new negotiated agreement which may include a medical clinic, and also includes 50% of the fire hall that we need to build somewhere down the road here soon. So I would just add that to the comments that were already said.
I'd just like to add one thing, Rod, too. We have to really be careful if we get a $10 million water facility, and I know there's been talk about it, what do we do with the industrial users? Are we going to use our $10 million facility to still provide water, for the rigs and stuff like that? And that's where the MD realizes that, well, we're using all this, we're scrubbing this water to be better than the Dasani water, and yet we're pumping it down well holes and things like that. So there's going to be a little bit of pushback there, and we just have to be prepared to deal with it. And when the industrial user uses more than the domestic user, we got troubles.
We need to regulate that.
Or charge them appropriately.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to kind of put this to bed, because I'm ready for bed. One time an old timer told me,